Let's go. You guys ready? Ready for violence? In 12 minutes, the chaos begins. The chaos begins. Once a month, Powell graces us with his presence. Ayo, Christy, good morning. Virus, hello, hello. Tony, hello. Dazed, hello. Jason, hello. Dan, are you back from errands? Grimes, hello, hello. Devin, hello. Ryan, are you ready? Ready for some violence? Anyways, the one stock that's done really well today is SLXN. Really good chart. Funny enough, we were doing a one-on-one, and that was a perfect spot. Right? And then boom skis. It's been running ever since. So that looks really nice. Sleepy, Jericho, stay awake. Jason, ayo, stay awake. Powell is coming. Let me mute my Discord. Stream mode. There we go. War, hello. Unleash the lies. So here comes the that level we were kind of waiting for, huh? Here it comes. Let's see if it actually stays above though. Alrighty. I think with all those wicks, you can definitely like kind of play around and see where it decides to consolidate at. Yeah, there you go. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Na 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 na. Okay, there we go. Yeah, let's see if that thing can consolidate. I for sure would be waiting for that consolidation though. Don't let that thing slap you. Anyways, moving on. Ocean looks like garbage. My goodness. Again, we knew this from earlier this morning, right? As soon as it broke down, the S&P has been crazy. Something happened here. I'm honestly not sure what happened. Let me know if you do know. Something happened though. Right, the markets out of nowhere just got slapped. Nvidia dropped from like 122, 123 to 120. Um, I didn't see a reason why it dropped like that, but it might just be market craziness before the Fed. And honestly, when I see stuff like that and the news isn't out yet, I don't mind it. I don't mind them slapping the markets now before the Fed. Slap it now, please. It's cookie time. No cookies, James. Cookies are not good for you. Let's see the top of the kitchen counter. Unbelievable. Unleash the lies. Is Nvidia a good buy? Nvidia was a good buy this morning at 116. Yeah, it was a good buy yesterday at 116. So honestly, anytime Nvidia gets below 120, it seems to be a good time to start scaling in, right? So yeah. It looks like we bounced up 120 today for Nvidia. So yep. And then obviously again we have some pretty big earnings coming up today, right? So we're gonna stay on the entire time. The Fed, Powell speaking, and then earnings. So Tesla, Meta, Microsoft, IBM maybe. Alrighty, so big boys. Tesla is most likely gonna be the most chaotic, isn't it? Anybody? 1 second, guys. Let me grab the door. 1 second. I'll turn the music up. I'll be back in like 2 seconds. Hopefully not, Troy. Hopefully not. 4 minutes, 4 minutes, 4 minutes. Fresh cookies, cookie delivery, cookie delivery. Ayo, Laura. Doo-doo-doo. There we go. Let's go, Brian. Are you ready? I'm gonna pull up the S&P because usually we see that reaction from the S&P before we even know what's happening, right? So the minutes again come out in 2 minutes, guys. Same as always, and then Powell doesn't come on till like 30 minutes after, right? Better than you talking. Turn up and go away. You know what? I'm gonna go back to the kitchen and eat my cookies. Okay, perfect. Yeah, exactly, Troy. Exactly. You ready? Up or down, guys? Up or down in the chat? We have 50 seconds left. Which way do we go? Up or down? Let me know. Uh, there you go. Down. Everybody down. Tesh one's up. Up, 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 down, down, down. Okay, well, it's pretty split then. Down and then up, then down, then up, and then down. That's exactly how these meetings work. Right? So 9 seconds. Are you ready, guys? Are you ready? Three, two, one, and violence. Come on. There we go. Violence. Down. Are we gonna go down? Down. More downness. And then up. Dan has it. Well, I mean, Dan had it the opposite way. Down and then up, and then down and then up, and then finally end up. Anyways, um, looks like we're about to hit lows of the day, guys. Oh, oh. Anyways, let me pull up CNBC here so we can kind of see what the Fed has done. Where's the stupid thing? That's okay. I don't see it yet. Let me know if you do. Okay, there we go. Yeah, we knew this was going to be the outcome, right? So Fed holds rates steady, take less confident view on inflation. Hmm. Why a less confident view? Anyways, so again, the market knew this was coming already, so I don't think this is a big deal. So it's all going to depend on how he sounds when he's yapping, you know. So the Fed Reserve leaves a key overnight interest rate unchanged. So nothing again as expected, right? Hello, Clyde. Yeah, then the markets have been Tony. Yeah, exactly. So I don't think there's really, I think it's going to be down and then back up, right? So sell up to the bottom, go back to where we came from before the stupid news came out. Look at that. It's already trying to creep back up, isn't it? So not really a big deal here. Uh, yeah, there we go. Look at that. We're coming back to the middle already. Nvidia, look at Nvidia. Drop already recovered, right? So the reason we're doing that is because I think we all knew that the Fed wasn't going to cut rates or increase rates. It was going to be the same, right? So now it just depends. It just depends what he's saying and how the market, what the market thinks about it. So, yep, yep. Bring on Powell. Bring on Powell. Come on now. Hey, yo, Guardian. Hello, hello. Yeah, it's usually pretty boring until he comes on, honestly. So the Fed voted 12-0 for Fed fund rate action. So these dudes all voted to do nothing. So they just want to sit on the couch and do nothing. 12-0. Like not a single person was like, you know what? Let's increase rates. You know what? Let's cut these rates. Nope. 12-0. Hmm. Slackers. Slackers. Unbelievable. This was expected, Dan. Yeah, exactly. No surprises here. I hope he's a bit more positive, though. I hope he's like, you know what? I really want to please my boss. Well, Trump really isn't his boss. Well, maybe, probably. Anyways, I hope he's like, you know what? I want to please Trump. I want to, I want to be, I want to sound a bit more optimistic, you know? So, and then the markets are like, oh, yeah? Let's cook. Let us cook. Yeah, exactly, Josh. He's going to play the middle of the road. We need real policy movement before we can have a good idea of how things are going to move. Fed are wondering. That's a very good point. Yep, 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 yep. Can we replace Powell with Josh? Can we do that? All in favor, say aye, aye. It's going to be 100-0. Anyways, rubbish. uh, they need to wake him up at nights. No sleeping. Knock on the door for 8 hours a night. Ridiculousness. No, no. Mm, 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 mm. Guardian. Yeah, if Josh was in that position, yeah, Josh would use all the available monies to buy Bitcoin. All of it, all of it. You see these candles, Noir? Ridiculousness. We need to change that name. We need to call him something else. We need to find a different name for him. That French name, Noir. That's what we need to call him. The French name. Something that sounds horrible in French. What we need to call him. Anyways, again, so nothing new from the markets, guys, right? From the Fed, I mean. Markets expected the rates to stay the same. So for now, we wait. 25 minutes before he's on. Matt, I mean, if he sounds as negative as he sounded last time, probably 597. So I hope not. I hope not. I hope we stay above 600 and push back to green. So that would be good. Pretty please. Pretty please. Pretty please. That would be good. Exactly, Noor. Exactly. Crypto reserve. Yeah, other than that, honestly, at this point, we're just waiting, right? Just waiting, 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 waiting. It looks like SL and SLXN is retesting that demand zone. So 275 actually. There was a bit of a bounce off that line, but I think at this point you'd be waiting for a break of a downtrend. uh, Noir. uh, expect the Fed to wait until June to cut rates based on short-term interest rate futures. Surprise. Surprise. 609 for tomorrow. 50 of them. Okay, they expire tomorrow, so not. I like that, Dan. I think that's a pretty good gamble. It's just French. uh, Next thing you know, someone's gonna be knocking on my door, Anwar. Like, hello, hello. Put on this orange jumpsuit, please. Please and thank you. So market's tanking, and we have Tesla earnings tonight. Yeah. So we have Tesla reporting tonight, Meta reporting tonight, Microsoft reporting tonight, IBM, and a whole bunch of other names that we don't care about. But So the top three are the ones we are paying attention to, right? So we're gonna be here for quite a few hours until, yeah, we're gonna be here for like the next 2.5 hours at the very least, because earnings. But in a ridiculous accents, yeah. Parlez-vous français? Oui, oui. They're gonna say bonjour, bonjour, monsieur, bonjour. Yeah, I hope we he sounds positive and we run, and then at that point Tesla beat earnings, Microsoft, Meta. The you can always like trust Meta and Microsoft to beat earnings. Tesla, it's a bit of a different question, because Tesla always has something stupid to say. They always have something silly up their sleeves. Or at least the market makers always find something silly in the report to crash it. But Meta is like a Wall Street darling. So is Microsoft. I expect both of those names to beat earnings. The only question now is, okay, like what's the sentiment going into that? Because I think if the markets are selling up before earnings come out, even if they do beat earnings, we could end up still selling off just because that's the vibe, right? So sentiment is usually big when it comes to these names. So hope we rally. Pablo, I know. They're here to give me the fantasy trophy, Pablo. I bought a Tesla. I bought a put in Tesla, hoping to get some dirt, cheap 220s. Okay. If Tesla crashed to 220, uh, yeah. Anyways, hope is not a strategy. In this case, Noir, it's all we have. Okay, it's all we have because we're hoping for some dude to ten haul on. Anyways, I'll leave it there. We're hoping for some dude to sound positive because that's basically it. We're hoping that the market can read into what he's saying and think that it's positive. There's nothing else. Zero. Yeah. Yep. I agree. Are you buying 230 puts, Luna? When do those expire? Because if you're buying Tesla 230 puts, you're looking for violence today. You sold a put, not buy. Okay, then you're fine. You're completely okay then. Yeah, you're fine. Hopefully they paid you some good money for that. Because Tesla isn't gonna get there. So either way, it's gonna expire worthless, and you're gonna get to keep the money, right? So, I think yeah, if that's what yeah, if you're doing that, then you're fine. Um, Spy is hitting lows of the day, guys. Lows of the day. A new hope. Hopium. A new hopium. Yeah, so it looks like we double bottomed for now on the S&P. On the S&P. Come on, Powell. Just come on already. He's going to say during the last meeting, and then he's going to start lying. We understand that our decisions at the Fed affect families, blah, blah, blah. And then we're going to know he's lying. You know? Like, yeah, sure you do. Sure you do. My avocado is $5 now for one avocado. Do you understand that, Pablo? No, he doesn't. He does not. Unbelievable. Ridiculous. Lies. Powell does not understand how much my avocado costs now since he got the job. Unbelievable. Right, Christy? Yeah. I hope they get it signed. Yeah, probably not, Luna. Tesla isn't gonna crash to 230. If it does, then the other things severe. Some things are wrong. Right, Bradley? Like ridiculous. And Christy, crazy. Subsidize avocados. Yes, please. We need to stop this EV rubbish and start subsidizing, avocados because they're good for you. You know. Yeah, Luna. Let me know actually. When do those puts expire? Yeah, and like, did they pay you like good money, like good premium to sell those puts? Because that'd be if they didn't, then that's perfect. Unless they give you like 10 cents or 5 cents for like the 230s, which this Friday, dang. Yeah. How much did they pay you for that though? 2 cents? Just a few bucks. Yeah, I guess that's okay. I mean, especially when you own the shares, right? So I guess it's fine to make a few dollars, right? I hope he leaves. I hope he leaves before the next election, Pablo. We need to send him to the Dominican Republic. He can be like the governor of the bridge or something. Yeah. Right, Gucci? Call that breakfast. 36 eggs cost you $6 in the DR. 36 eggs, $6. Oh my goodness! Like at the store, the little package of like 12 eggs costs you like $12 here. We all need to move to the Dominican Republic, guys. Noah, are you ready? Pack your bags. We can play Call of Duty on the beach. Yeah, it's because they have chickens running around. They just probably steal the eggs from the chickens running around. Criminals. Unbelievable. Josh, tell Rachel, Colorado no more. Dominican Republic, here we go. You do, Pablo, and you like it? Yeah, I think if I ever lived anywhere else, I would for sure get Starlink. 51st and 52nd states. Anyways, the S&P looks like it hit that double bottom and then came back. So there is a thing where every time Powell comes on, we change the direction of like you know S&P movement. So hopefully, we've also seen times where like he came on and then the market just died straight to zero. So hopefully today is not one of those days. We still have 15 minutes left. 15 minutes. The Canadian government is who? Gucci? Where do you live? Where do you live in Canada, Gucci? Where do you live? Uh, SPY back below the 600. Nvidia is obviously following the S&P, right? Let's see. We wait. Walking out the store with 12 eggs in your pocket. BC. Yeah. At least you live in a beautiful place. Choo-choo. SoFi. Yup. SoFi. Let me pull up SoFi actually, because yup. I mean, if you look at SoFi on the daily, you're gonna be able to tell like, oh, you could tell that this dip ski was coming. You could tell the dip ski was coming. SoFi had a really good run, and then they reported earnings, right? So usually when a stock is running into earnings, they're pricing in all the good news, and then as soon as those earnings come out, it's like, okay, opposite direction. So yep, eventually SoFi is going to give you a higher low and then push back to 18 eventually, right? Unless it wants to dip to $13, then that's perfect. So yeah, for someone that has a lot of SoFi shares, when it's dumping like this, not that it's really dumping, but when it's selling off like this, good time to do some puts, to write some puts, not buy puts. You become the market maker, and if it keeps crashing anyways, well, you like the stock, right? Uh, We got what we pay for, at least over in BC. People suffering in every realm. Yeah, BC honestly just seems like a ridiculous place to live in. Other than the beauty, it just seems like a crazy place to live in. Yep. GVH. After you're waiting for a pullback, is what you're saying? Oh, after this pullback, you might have missed it actually. Right, so you can clearly see that resistance for GVH at 80 cents, right? Like it's been failing here forever now, right? These are daily candles, by the way. So this level's been, there for a few months now, right? Since November of last year and before that, right? The reason I say you missed it was because, again, like closer to 60 cents here would have been the level, right? It looks like it dipped really quickly and then went back up. Actually, on the left hand side, this is also 60 cents, right? So you might have missed it there now, and now you're only 7 cents away from that 80-cent resistance, right? So at this point, I would just kind of leave it alone and just watch. So Powell is on in 11 minutes, guys. Fever is horrible, man. You have a fever. Mm. Should you a sauna or a steam room? Sauna or steam room, chat? I don't know. Yeah, beautiful place, Gucci, but yeah, everything seems expensive. Unless like you have a job that requires you to yeah, no thanks. Might as well just go live somewhere else and spend the money on other things. You can travel with the monies and have a better quality of life than. Yeah, anyways, sleep. Yeah, I think so too, Kaiser. Go to bed, Matt. Close your eyes and go to bed. Get some rest. uh if anything though, I would say steam room, right? Steam room. Yeah, steam room, if you're not sleeping. Yeah. Whiskey, steam room, that order. There you go. So steam room it is. Uh, uh, Speaking. Okay, there we go. You have been Guardian. Bitcoin, newbie, crypto. What's your question? What is your question? Bitcoin is just still holding above 100K, so nothing's really changed there. Mm, mm, mm. Um, in different languages. Yeah, honey after is amazing. Yeah. uh, Pablo is the best advocate for DR, like the ambassador for the Dominican Republic. Ambassador. Come on, Mr. Powell. We don't have time for your rubbish. Please and thank you. Let me pull up the Fed website and then be ready. Okay, yeah, those dudes, you can see them sitting in the room, or they're just waiting in the room. So Powell is on in 8 minutes, and then we're gonna switch over and watch and listen to him yap, and then we can spam, spy price action in the chat. The markets are usually confused until like we get to the Q&A part, because then that's when they actually ask him like questions. So he isn't just reading off like a piece of paper. Steam rooms. Don't forget to smash a like, guys, if you haven't already, please and thank you. Smash a like, hit that subscribe if you're new to the channel, and if you're not a member yet, click the link at the bottom there from Nightbot and come join us already. Come join us. Again, reminder that I'm gonna pull up all of these stocks. So Meta reports tonight, right? Quick look at Meta's like daily chart should look good. It's loading. Yeah, Meta looks very very nice. Meta's coming off all time highs. So I don't know if this is a good thing or not a good thing. Usually not a good thing, but in this case, I still don't expect Meta to. The reason why Meta is running into earnings is because usually they beat earnings and the stock, but so they're pricing in all the good news again, right? So stuff like this is a bit scary. But again, nobody expects Meta to miss earnings, right? These dudes make monies on monies on monies on monies. So the daily looks good. Tesla is a bit of a different story. Tesla is a bit of a different story. Tesla had a really good run though, but now it's sitting at the 50 EMA. So hopefully this 380 can be like the support of the 50 and then boom skis to the upside already. And then the last name that we care about is Microsoft, right? Microsoft again, same ish, right? They're not expected to miss earnings at all. So but it doesn't always work that way, right? Like I said, it's all about sentiment, right? Like look at the like you look at the like every time they report earnings, it all just depends what the market's been doing coming into earnings, right? Like if you look at the actual earnings report, they never missed earnings, but like we were already crashing, right? So then that sentiment, plays a huge role in like what the stock actually does. So that's gonna be the same thing today, right? So we shall see what these stocks do. Spy is still just sitting here. Still just sitting here. Spy actually made brand new lows and then bounced a bit, but let's see. Trump is live. Why is Trump live the same time that Powell is live? Maybe he's trying to distract. He's like, okay. Let's get this dude less attention, please. Less attention, please. It's like, okay, if I go live at the same time, how much, audience can I take away? Ridiculous. 5 minutes, guys, and then he's on. 5 minutes. Yep. The Trump speech. Okay. Do 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 do. His pal cut the EV grants. No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say Elon did that for nothing. I think Elon cares more about what he's done, free speech and all that stuff, more than he does about the monies. Also, we had the election in November, right? Tesla was at 250 ish, right? Yeah, right. So Tesla was all the way down there around 250, and now Tesla ran to 500, and it's still at 380, 390, right? So if you're just looking at the price for Tesla, like the price is way above since the election, way up there, right? Like this was the election, this is us now, right? So always something breaking. You don't like them? Do you have a Tesla free, my grandma? Do you have a Tesla? You don't like it? What don't you like about a Tesla? What don't you like about it? Mm, 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 yeah, I see that one coming up the scanner. REBN. Reborn Coffee. Yeah, it's a double top though. 275 to 80 double top Jasmine. And you can see that supply zone, right? So two. Okay, there we go. There we go. We have 2 minutes, guys. 2 minutes. You bought 1,000 I bid. Why did you do that? I like it, but why did you do it? 58 price. Dang. No, why? As in, is it? It's a bad thing. because IBIT is my favorite. But why did you buy so much at the same time at 58? Yeah, let's hear the rubbish. Are you guys ready? So Powell is coming on, and the S&P is at 599.50. So let's when he leaves, let's see where we're at. Right. So I'm gonna share my I'm gonna share the the Fed website so we can if I can find it. Okay, there we go. There we go. So he's on in 1 minute. 1 minute, guys. Okay. We really don't need the music anymore, so don't need the music anymore. Just gonna mute them. Mute them. Yeah. If we're gonna go up or down, the wheel is gonna say congratulations. Pray for your calls. The best outcome here, Dan, is closing, ending the day at above 605 to 610. Pump it, pump it. There we go. Here we go. Here we go. Mic grip time. The S&P is hitting new lows of the day, guys. So not looking too amazing. So this dude better sound as dovish as he's ever sounded before. Otherwise, we need to give his job to somebody else. Why don't we vote for it should be like a process of voting. Vote for the Fed leader. And unbelievable. I say we as a fellow North American citizen, right? Anyways, here we go.
Good afternoon. My colleagues and I remain squarely focused on achieving our dual mandate goals of maximum employment and stable prices for the benefit of the American people. The economy is strong, is strong overall and has made significant progress toward our goals over the past 2 years. Labor market can move from their formerly overheated state and remain solid. Inflation has moved much closer to our 2% longer run goal, though it remains somewhat elevated. In support of our goals, today the Federal Open Market Committee decided to leave our policy interest rate unchanged and to continue to reduce our securities holdings. I'll have more to say about monetary policy after briefly reviewing economic developments. Recent indicators suggest that economic activity has continued to expand at a solid pace. For 2024 as a whole, GDP looks to have risen above 2%, bolstered by resilient consumer spending. Investment in equipment and intangibles appears to have slowed in the fourth quarter, but was strong for the year overall. Following weakness in the middle of last year, activity in the housing sector seems to have stabilized. In the labor market, conditions remain solid. Payroll job gains averaged 170,000 per month over the past 3 months. Following earlier increases, the unemployment rate has stabilized since the middle of last year, and at 4.1% in December remains low. Nominal wage growth has eased over the past year, and the jobs to workers gap has narrowed. Overall, a wide set of indicators suggest that conditions in the labor market are broadly in balance. The labor market is not a source of significant inflationary pressures. Inflation has eased significantly over the past 2 years, but remains somewhat elevated relative to our 2% longer run goal. Estimates based on the Consumer Price Index and other data indicate that total PCE prices rose 2.6% over the 12 months ending in December, and that excluding the volatile food and energy categories, core PCE prices rose 2.8%. Longer-term inflation expectations appear to remain well anchored. as reflected in a broad range of surveys of households, businesses, and forecasters, as well as measures from financial markets. Our monetary policy actions are guided by our dual mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people. We see the risks to achieving our employment and inflation goals as being roughly in balance, and we are attentive to the risks on both sides of our mandate. Over the course of our 3 previous meetings, we lowered our policy rate by a full percentage point from its peak. That recalibration of our policy stance was appropriate in light of the progress on inflation and the rebalancing in the labor market. With our policy stance significantly less restrictive than it had been, and the economy remaining strong, we do not need to be in a hurry to adjust our policy stance. At today's meeting, the committee decided to maintain the target range for the federal funds rate at 4.25% to 4.5%. We know that reducing policy restraint too fast or too much could hinder progress on inflation. At the same time, reducing policy restraint too slowly or too little could unduly weaken economic activity and employment. In considering the extent and timing of additional adjustments to the target range for the federal funds rate, the committee will assess incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks. We're not on any preset course. As the economy evolves, we will adjust our policy stance in a manner that best promotes our maximum employment and price stability goals. If the economy remains strong and inflation does not continue to move sustainably toward 2%, we can maintain policy restraint for longer. If the labor market were to weaken unexpectedly or inflation were to fall more quickly than anticipated, we can ease policy accordingly. Policy is well positioned to deal with the risks and uncertainties that we face in pursuing both sides of our dual mandate. As we previously announced, our 5-year review of our monetary policy framework is taking place this year. At this meeting, the committee began its discussions by reviewing the context and outcomes of our previous review that concluded in 2020, as well as the experiences of other central banks in conducting reviews. Our review will again include outreach and public events involving a wide range of parties, including Fed Listens events around the country and a research conference in May. Throughout this process, we will be open to new ideas and critical feedback, and we will take on board lessons of the last 5 years in determining our findings. We intend to wrap up the review by late summer. I would note that the committee's 2% longer run inflation goal will be retained and will not be a focus of the review. The Fed has been assigned 2 goals for monetary policy: maximum employment and stable prices. We remain committed to supporting maximum employment, bringing inflation sustainably to our 2% goal, and keeping longer run inflation expectations well anchored. Our success in delivering on these goals matters to all Americans. We understand that our actions affect communities, families, and businesses across the country. Everything we do is in service to our public mission. We at the Fed will do everything we can to achieve our maximum employment and price stability goals. Thank you. I look forward to your questions.
Steve.
Mr. Chairman, Steve Leisman from CNBC. Mr. Chairman, at a event in Davos, or to Davos anyway, the president said he'll demand that interest rates drop immediately. So I guess I have a 3-part question. Has the president done this to you? Has he made that demand? Secondly, what is your response to that? And third, what effect, if anything, if any, does a president making these kind of remarks have on policy? Thank you.
3 questions. I'm seeing it really as 1 question, though. So I'm not going to have any response or comment whatsoever on what the president said. It's not appropriate for me to do so. The public should be confident that we will continue to do our work as we always have, focusing on using our tools to achieve our goals and really keeping our heads down and doing our work. And that's how we best serve the public.
Can you just comment on whether he's physically communicating this demand to you?
I've had no contact. Thanks.
Nick.
Nick Timmeros, The Wall Street Journal. Chair Powell, you and several of your colleagues said around the time of the last meeting that your policy stance was meaningfully restrictive. Given economic and financial market developments since then, how has your confidence changed in an assessment that says interest rates are meaningfully restrictive?
I don't think that my assessment really has changed. I mean, a couple of things have happened. We've gotten more strong data, but we've also seen rates move up at the long end, which could represent a tightening in financial conditions. I think if we look back over the past year or so, we can see that policy is restrictive. If you look at the effect of high rates on interest-sensitive spending, for example, in housing, and if you look at the achievement of our goal variables, we're seeing the economy move toward 2% inflation and has moved largely to maximum employment. So we literally look at the movement toward the goal variables to make that assessment. Now, policy is meaningfully less restrictive than it was before we began to cut. It's 100 basis points less restrictive, and for that reason, we're going to be focusing on seeing real progress on inflation, or alternatively some weakness in the labor market before we consider making adjustments.
If I could follow up. Does the economy here warrant meaningfully restrictive interest rates? And would you judge interest rates to still be meaningfully restrictive if you were to lower them by another quarter point?
So I think our policy stance is very well calibrated, as I mentioned, to balance the achievement of our two goals. We want policy to be restrictive enough to continue to foster further progress toward a 2% inflation goal. At the same time, we don't need to see further weakening in the labor market to achieve that goal. And that's kind of what we've been getting. The labor market has really been broadly stable. The unemployment rate has been broadly stable now for 6 months. Conditions seem to be broadly in balance. And I'd say you look at the last couple of inflation readings and you see we don't overreact to two good readings or two bad readings, but nonetheless, the last couple of readings have suggested more positive readings. So I think policy is well positioned.
Colby from the New York Times.
Colby Smith with the New York Times. Chair Powell, how should we interpret the removal of the line from the statement that inflation has made progress towards the 2% goal? Is that no longer the case?
No. So let me look. If you just look at the first paragraph, we did a little bit of language cleanup there. We took out a reference to since earlier in the year as it related to the labor market. And we just chose to shorten that sentence. Again, I mean, if you look at the sort of intermeeting data, it was good, and there was another inflation reading, I guess, just before the December meeting. So we've got two good readings in a row that are consistent with 2% inflation. Again, we're not going to overinterpret two good or two bad readings, but this was not meant to send a signal. Other than this, you can take away from all of this that we remain committed to achieving our 2% inflation goal sustainably.
And just to follow up, we've seen inflation expectations across a number of measures rise sharply, which has in part been linked to tariff concerns. But there's also been this encouraging data that you mentioned in terms of CPI and rent indices. So how would you characterize concerns about upside risks to inflation across the committee, especially those tied to policies related to the Trump administration?
Well, I'd say you see expectations moving up a little bit at the short end, but not at the longer end, where it really matters. And those could be related to what you mentioned, some of the new policies. I think where the committee is very much in the mode of waiting to see what policies are enacted. We don't know what will happen with tariffs, with immigration, with fiscal policy, and with regulatory policy. We're only just beginning to see, and actually are not really beginning to see much. And I think we need to let those policies be articulated before we can even begin to make a plausible assessment of what their implications for the economy will be. So we're going to be watching carefully, and as we always do, this is no different than any other set of policy changes at the beginning of an administration. We'll patiently watch and understand, and kind of not be in a hurry to get to a place of understanding what our policy response should be until we see how it plays out.
Michael McKee.
Michael McKee from Bloomberg Television and Radio. You and your colleagues normally condition future policy moves with the phrase, if the economy develops as we anticipate. Is it fair to say that since there's a lot unknown about what this administration's fiscal policies are actually going to be, that you don't have a medium to long-term economic forecast that you can have confidence in? Or if that's not true, can you lay out what you think is going to happen in the economy, how you see it developing?
Well, at all times, forecasts are conditional at a minimum on just a set of expectations, and they're highly uncertain in both directions. We know that economic forecasting is really difficult beyond just a month or two out. So in the current situation, there's probably some elevated uncertainty because of significant policy shifts in those four areas that I mentioned: tariffs, immigration, fiscal policy, and regulatory policy. So there's probably some additional uncertainty, but that should be passing. We should go through that, and then we'll be back to the regular amount of uncertainty. So, what forecasters are doing, not just us, but everybody's doing, is they've got sort of just a set of assumptions about what might happen, but they're really kind of in the nature of a placeholder, and meaning, plausible could be, but honestly, you wouldn't stand behind it because you just don't know. And so you're just on hold waiting to see what comes down. It's a very large economy, and policy is affected at the margin, but we're going to wait and see.
If I can follow up, the idea that you feel the economy, that policy is restrictive, suggests that the Fed in general wants to continue to lower interest rates. So when you look at the data that you are dependent on, are you looking for data that tell you that you can cut, or data that will tell you you should hold?
We're looking. It's more the other. The way it works is we are looking at the data to guide us in what we should do. And, that's what we do. And right now, we feel like we're in a very good place. Policy is well positioned. The economy is in quite a good place, actually, as well. And what we do expect is to see further progress on inflation. And, as I mentioned, as we see that, or if we were to see weakening in the labor market, that could foster, we could then be in a position of making further adjustments. But right now, we don't see that, and we see things as in a really good place for policy and for the economy. And so we feel like we don't need to be in a hurry to make any adjustments.
Howard.
Howard Schneider with Reuters. Thank you very much. In 2021 at a central bank conference, you said, quote, throughout my career in both public and private sectors, I've seen that the best and most successful organizations are often the ones that have a strong and persistent commitment to diversity and inclusion. These organizations consistently attract the best talent by investing in and retaining a world-class workforce. First question is, do you still believe that? And if so, how do you intend to put that belief into practice while remaining consistent with the recent executive order prohibiting diversity and inclusion efforts?
So let me say yes in answer to your first question, but to the second question, I want to say this. We are, like others, we're reviewing the orders and the associated details as they're made available. And as has been our practice over many administrations, we are working to align our policies with the executive orders as appropriate and consistent with applicable law. And I want to add that I'm not going to have anything more specific for you today on this whole set of issues.
Well, if I could just follow up quickly on that, I'm wondering how you're getting that to be consistent with the Dodd-Frank law's stipulations about maintaining an Office of Minority and Women's Inclusion.
So I did mention consistent with applicable law. All right.
Which is governing.
Elizabeth. Thanks so much. Elizabeth Schulze with ABC News. Just to follow up on Steve's question, what reassurance can you give the American public that the Fed will continue to operate independent of politics under this administration?
As I've said countless times over the years, this is who we are. This is what we do. We study the data. We analyze how it will affect the outlook and the balance of risks, and we use our tools to try to, given our best understanding, our best thinking, try to achieve our goals. That's what we do. That's always what we do. Don't look for us to do anything else. And that's, lots of research shows that's the best way for a central bank to operate. That'll give us the best possible chance to achieve these goals for the benefit of the American people. That's always what we're going to do. And people should have confidence in that, as I said a few minutes ago.
You've said that the Fed is in wait and see mode based on the policies that come out of this administration. Has the Fed started to model what policies like mass deportations, changes in immigration policy specifically, would look like for the workforce and for inflation?
So one of the things our staff does is they look at a range of possible outcomes, and they tend to go from really good to really bad, and it's one of the best things that they do. And in each teal book, you can look at the 5-year-old teal books and see their alternative simulations. So that's what they do. It'll be a baseline, and then they'll show 6 or 7 alternative scenarios, including really good ones and not so good ones. And what those do is they spark the policymakers to sort of think and understand about the uncertainties that surround us. So yes, the staff does that, and we're all well aware that the range of possibilities is always broad, and not just now, but always. And it's hard to be open to just how broad the possibilities are for an economy. No one saw the pandemic coming, and it changed everything. So things happen, but yes, we do that. But it's different. It's one thing to do that, to make assessments about what might happen and begin to think about what you might do in that case, but you don't act until you see much more than we see now.
Katerina Saraiva, Bloomberg News. Last month you talked about a future rate cut as being pretty, significantly predicated on more progress in inflation. With the characterization of the labor market in the statement today, would you say that that's even more so the case now?
I'd say it's the same. We want to see, further progress on inflation. And, the story's there. We're just going to have to see the data. At the end of the day, it comes down to 12-month inflation, because that takes out the seasonality issues that may exist. And, we're just going to need to see that. We think we see the pathway for that to happen. One example, a key example, is that you now do see owner's equivalent rent and housing services, the way it's calculated for PCE. You see that coming down pretty steadily now, and that's the place where most of the remaining gap is. In addition, a big part of the overrun, as you will know, was from non-market services, which don't tend to send much signal. So you can look through all that and think, okay, that then we seem to be set up for further progress. But being seen to set up for it is one thing, having it is another. So we're going to want to see further progress on inflation. But remember, we're not, we're under 2%, but our goal is 2%, and we do mean to get back sustainably to 2%.
And in terms of the labor market, I mean, how is that broadly, you said a broad set of indicators show that it's in pretty solid place. Was there broad agreement on that? There's been a few underlying indicators that are showing perhaps some weakness, a low hiring rate, workers reporting that it's increasingly difficult to find a job. Is that of concern to the committee?
So you're right. I mean, we look at, of course, a very broad range. So it starts with unemployment, with the unemployment rate, employment participation, wages, job quits, are people quitting, that kind of thing, the ratio of vacancies to unemployed. We look at all those things, and you put your finger though on it's a low hiring environment. So if you have a job, it's all good, but if you have to find a job, the job finding rate, the hiring rates have come down, and that's more typical of a. Let's say that the unemployment, that the labor market is at a sustainable level. It's not overheated anymore. We don't think we need it to cool off anymore. We do watch it extremely carefully. It's one of our 2 goal variables. But I'd say we watch those things quite carefully. But nonetheless, overall, look at the aggregate data in the labor market. The labor market does seem to be pretty stable and broadly in balance when you've got an unemployment rate that has been pretty stable now for a full half a year.
Edward. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Edward Lawrence with Fox Business. On employment, you said there's a broad range of possibilities, but last September you said, quote, "We understand that there's been quite an influx across the borders, and that has actually been one of the things that's allowed unemployment rate to rise." Now that the flow of the border has slowed and we're seeing deportations, how do you expect the unemployment rate to react?
So what's happening is that the flows across the border have decreased very significantly, and there's every reason to expect that to continue. But job creation has come down a bit too. So, if those two things come down together, that sort of can be a reason for the unemployment rate to stabilize. In other words, the break-even rate, as population growth slows, the break-even rate that you need in new jobs to make make jobs for workers declines as well. So that seems to be something about what's happening. You do see a very flat unemployment rate at a time when you've seen significant declines.
I want to ask you about Fed employment. I know that tax money is not used here, but Elon Musk alleges that the Fed is, quote, absurdly overstaffed. We've seen the executive branch push to reduce the federal workforce. I just want to get your reaction.
We run a very careful budget process. We're fully aware that we owe that to the public, and we believe we do that. I've got no further comment than that. Thanks.
Chris.
Chris Rugaber at Associated Press. President Trump has said he will lower inflation by reducing gas and energy costs. Do you see such costs as a particular driver of inflation, and would lowering them have a dramatic effect?
Chris, I'm not going to react or discuss anything that any elected politician might say. So I'll give you a mulligan.
Okay, thank you. Well, nearly 2 weeks ago, the Fed said it was withdrawing from the network for greening the financial system, even as we have significant wildfires in Los Angeles doing billions of dollars in damage. And of course, the NGFS, as you know, is a group to talk about how the financial system could address climate change. Many commentators did see the timing as political. Why did you leave that organization? Can you explain that decision?
Sure, I'd be glad to. So we considered this, really at length, and we did decide to withdraw from the NGFS. And really the reason is that the work that the NGFS does has broadened very significantly. Think about nature-related risks and biodiversity and things like that. In addition, the work of the NGFS is in significant part intended to, and this is a quote, mobilize mainstream finance to support the transition toward a sustainable economy. So we joined to get the benefit of understanding what other central banks were doing and seeing research and things like that. I think this is just way beyond any plausible mandate that you could attribute to the Fed. And so we have a quite narrow role, as I've said many times. And I think that the activities of the NGFS are not a good fit for the Fed, given our current mandate and authority. So, and I just think it was time to acknowledge that, this process dates back a couple of years. I made the decision to bring this to the board, some months ago. The process just took time to get here, and this is when we got it and voted on it. So, and I'm aware of how it can look, but it was really not driven by politics. It was driven by kind of the disconnect between the work of the NGFS and our mandate. Other central banks have different mandates and belong to the NGFS. We have no criticism of them, but it just isn't. It's not right for the Fed.
Andrew.
Thanks. Andrew Ackerman with the Washington Post. I'm wondering if you could talk more about what further progress would look like for consumers.
Well, 2% inflation down to 2% sustainably is what we're trying to achieve. We're somewhat above that, as you know, and we want to see serial readings that suggest that we're making further progress on inflation. That's what we want to see, and consumers will pick that up, of course, in the things that they buy at the grocery store or at the store.
The other thing I wanted to ask was just how far away you think you are from neutral.
Yeah, you can't know with any precision, of course, as I like to say, that you know the neutral rate by its works. So I think at 4.3%, we're above pretty much everyone on the committee's estimates of the longer run neutral. I think our eyes are telling us that our policy is having the effects on the economy. That's really the question we ask. You can consult models, empirical models, theoretical models. You really have to just look out the window and see how your policy rate is affecting the economy. And I think we see that it's having meaningful effects in bringing inflation under control. It has helped bring the labor market into balance as well. So that's what we think. I would say we're meaningfully above it. I have no illusion that anyone knows precisely how much that is. But not knowing that and having cut 100 basis points means that it's appropriate that we not be in a hurry to make further adjustments.
Victoria.
Victoria Guido with Politico. So as a general matter, when it comes to executive orders and OMB memos, do those always apply to the Fed, sometimes never, or do you just often voluntarily comply? What is the legality there?
So it's been our practice, as I mentioned, to work to align our policies to those that are mentioned in the executive orders, and I'm just going to leave it at that. As I mentioned, I'm not going to go any deeper than that or get into any deeper into this set of issues today.
Claire.
Claire Jones from the Financial Times. Two questions, if I may, on tariffs. Well, first of all, we've seen global trade wars before, notably in 2019, last time around, but then we were in a very different place on both inflation and growth. If we see tariffs of the same sort of magnitude that we got then, which I know is big if, what do you think might be different this time around? And secondly, Tiff Macklem said there was no doubt that the threat of tariffs was a big driver of the cut by the Bank of Canada today. What sort of information would the Fed need to see on tariffs before it was willing to take such a preemptive move? Thank you.
Sorry.
What sort of information would you need to see on tariffs? Would you need to see a strategy, actual implementation, actual movement of inflation expectations before you're actually willing to change the path of monetary policy on the basis of it?
Yeah, so first of all, things are a little different now. We've just come through a high inflation period, and you can argue that both ways. You can say that companies have figured out that they do like to raise prices, but we also hear a lot from companies these days that consumers have really had it with price increases, and so I don't know how that shakes out. Nonetheless, you're coming through a situation where we're not quite back to 2%, and that's just different. In addition, the kind of footprint of trade has changed a lot as trade is now spread around. It's not as concentrated in China as it was. There was a lot more manufacturing. It moved to Mexico and other places. So there are differences, and I just think the range of possibilities is very, very wide. We just don't know, and I don't want to start speculating, as tempting as it is, because we really don't know, and we didn't know, by the way, in 2018. We didn't really know. And, the range of possibilities very, very wide. We don't know what's going to be tariffed. We don't know for how long or how much, what countries. We don't know about retaliation. We don't know how it's going to transmit through the economy to consumers. That really does remain to be seen. There are lots of places where that price increase from the tariff can show up between the manufacturer and the consumer. Just so many variables. So we're just going to have to wait and see. And the best we can do is what we've done, which is study up on this and look at historical experience, read the literature, and think about the factors that might matter. And then we'll just have to see how it goes.
Courtney.
Thank you. Courtney Brown from Axios. Two unrelated questions. The first is whether or not there was any discussion about QT and the timeline for ending QT at this meeting. And then the second question is just, I wonder if the AI prompted sell-off in the stock market this week signaled anything to you about the state of financial conditions?
So let's talk about runoff. So the most recent data do suggest that reserves are still abundant. Reserves remain roughly as high as they were when runoff began, and the federal funds rate has been very steady within the target range. We track a bunch of metrics, and they do tend to point to reserves being abundant. We do intend to reduce the size of our balance sheet to a level that's consistent with implementing monetary policy efficiently and effectively in our ample reserves regime. We're closely monitoring a range of indicators to assess conditions, and that should provide signals whether reserves are approaching a level that could be judged as, quote, somewhat above ample. I don't have anything to say to you about particular dates. It's just that's the process, and what we see is that the rates do appear to be abundant. As always, we stand ready to take appropriate action to support that smooth transition of monetary policy, including to adjust the details of our approach for reducing the size of the balance sheet in light of economic and financial developments. On AI, it's a big event in the stock market and in particular parts of the stock market. I mean, what really matters for us is macro developments, and that means substantial changes in financial conditions that are persistent for a period of time. So I wouldn't put that label on these events, although, of course, we're all watching it with interest.
Simon Urbanovich with The Economist. Thank you. You mentioned in your remarks that activity in the housing sector seems to have stabilized. At the same time, since your first rate cut in September, long-term mortgage rates have gone up by a full percentage point back above 7%. I'm wondering, kind of looking forward, are you confident that activity will remain stable given how elevated mortgage rates are? How does it fit into your broader thinking about the economy?
So, as you know, as we've reduced our policy rate 100 basis points, longer rates have gone up, not because of expectations, not principally because of expectations about our policy or about inflation. It's more a term premium story. So, and it's long rates that matter for housing. So, I don't think I think these higher rates are they're probably hold back housing activity to some extent if they're persistent. We'll have to see how long they persist. So, we control an overnight rate. Generally, it propagates through the whole family of asset prices, including interest rates. But in this particular case, it's all happened at a time when, for reasons unrelated to our policy, longer rates have moved up.
Jennifer.
Thank you, Chair Powell. Jennifer Schonberger with Yahoo Finance. You said you want to see further progress on inflation. Given that households appear to be unhappy with the elevated level of prices, do you believe the committee should wait until inflation has fallen back to target to cut rates again?
No, I wouldn't say that. We've never said we need to be all the way at target to reduce rates. At any time, what we're doing is we're looking at the economy and asking whether our policy stance is the right one to achieve maximum employment and price stability. So I think if we would want to see further progress, but we think our, as I mentioned, we think that our policy stance is restrictive, meaningfully restrictive, not highly restrictive, but meaningfully restrictive. And so I would think we need to see further progress. I wouldn't say all the way back down to 2% on a sustainable basis. Although we'd love to see that, of course, and we will.
And a separate question for you on tariffs. Curious whether the threat of tariffs and not knowing whether they could stick or not creates uncertainty for business here in the United States and could cause them to pull back, ultimately weighing on growth. Does the threat of tariffs cause you to ponder your growth forecast?
I want to avoid commenting even indirectly on the conduct of tariffs. It's not our job, and it's not our job to comment on the moves that people make. So I wouldn't want to criticize anything that's happening or really comment on it one way or another, praise it for that matter. It's just not our job. I do think that, we found in 2018, there was a lot of work done on trade policy uncertainty. Trade policy uncertainty, if it's large and persistent, can start to matter for businesses making investment decisions and things like that. That's not something I'm observing today. It's very early days for this, but I think that did matter in 2018-19, and it's one of many things we'll be watching.
Matt. Thank you, Chair Powell. Matt Egan from CNN. Following up on Courtney's question from earlier about the stock market, how concerned are you, if at all, about potential asset bubble brewing in financial markets? How do relatively high market valuations factor into considerations about potentially lowering interest rates further? Is that something that's in the back of your mind?
So we look at, from a financial stability perspective at asset prices generally, along with things like leverage in the household sector, leverage in the banking system, funding risk for banks and things like that. But it's just one of the four things asset prices are. And yeah, I'd say they're elevated by many metrics right now. A good part of that, of course, is this thing around tech and AI. But we look at that. But we look at how resilient the households and businesses and the financial sector are to those things. So we look at that mainly from a financial stability perspective, and we think that there's a lot of resilience out there. Banks have high capital, and households are actually overall, not all households, but in the aggregate, households are in pretty good shape financially these days. So that's how we think about that. We look at overall financial conditions, and you can't just take equity prices. You've got to look at rates too, and that represents a tightening in conditions with higher rates. So overall, financial conditions are probably still somewhat accommodative, but it's a mixed bag.
Hi, Chair Powell. I'm Richard Escobedo with CBS News. One question for you. This month's statement notes that unemployment is stabilized at a low rate and that the labor market is solid. You walked through some of what's driving this, but I wonder what risks you see that might challenge your assessment.
Well, the things we discussed earlier, one is that there's a low hiring rate. And so that if there were to be a spike in layoffs, if companies were to start to reduce headcount, you would see unemployment go up pretty quickly because the hiring rate is quite low. So that's one thing we look at. I think it's worth pointing out that for lower income households, they're under significant pressure. And in the aggregate, the numbers are good, but we know that people at the lower end of the income spectrum are struggling with costs. And really, it's high inflation for the basics of life. It's not so much the inflation now, it's the price level, because inflation has raised prices. Inflation is now much closer to target, but people are really feeling that. But overall, this is a good labor market. You're at 4.1% unemployment. That's just a really good level, and you've been solidly there now for 6-7 months. And job creation is pretty close to a level that will hold the unemployment rate there, given that there'll be much slower population growth.
One more question. Some of the uncertainty around immigration policy is, in your assessment, is that making it harder for businesses and the Fed to plan going forward?
We hear anecdotal reports, but I don't see it. There's nothing in the data yet on that. But you hear that kind of thing about construction, for example, and businesses that are dependent on immigrant labor are saying that it's suddenly gotten harder to get people. But I know you don't see that in the aggregate data yet. But yes, you hear it anecdotally.
Nick.
Thank you, Chair Powell. Nicholas Brzezinski from Barron's. The uncertainty is certainly a theme today. And I'm wondering, are there any periods from your career or as it relates to markets, the economy, what's going on here in Washington and beyond, or from lessons from history that may provide some guidance for a central banker operating in uncertain times like today?
I guess I'd say this. Uncertainty is with us all the time. It is human nature, apparently, to underestimate how fat the tails are in a way. The possibility, we think of things in a normal distribution, and in the economy, it's not a normal distribution. The tails are very fat, meaning things can happen way out of your expectations. It's never not that way. I wouldn't, if you think about it, think about the first few months of the pandemic. That was uncertainty. Are we going to be able to reopen the economy? If so, when? How much of it? How long will it take? that was uncertainty. What we have now is a good labor market. We have the economy growing at 2 to 2.5%. Inflation's come down to now the headline inflation number was 2.6, and that's what the public experiences. We look at core because it's a better indicator of future inflation. So yes, the price level went up a lot for inflation, and people are feeling that, and they're not wrong. But so the kind of uncertainty we have is just a usual level of uncertainty about the economy, but then policies, which are not for us to criticize or praise, really. Those are policies which people have been elected to implement. They're implementing them with a view to making a better economy, and so I wouldn't call this out as one of those times. I wouldn't compare it to the global financial crisis or anything like that, given that we have actually a very good economy right now.
Evan Reiser with Market News International. Chair Powell, is a March cut still on the table? And then additionally, are you looking to see better than expected data on inflation to cut? Or are you looking for inflation data that roughly aligns with current forecasts?
So as I mentioned, the economy's strong, the labor market's solid, downside risks to the labor market appear to have abated, and we think disinflation continues on a slow and sometimes bumpy path. That tells me, and the other members of the committee, the broad sense of the committee actually is that we don't need to be in a hurry to adjust our policy stance. Your second question was?
Whether or not you need to see better than expected inflation data or just inflation data that roughly aligns with your current forecasts.
It's one of those things, we'll know it when we see it, but more the expectation is that we will make continued progress. And, that's what we want. We'll know it when we see it. It's going to have to be something that isn't just idiosyncratic. You're going to want to see, continued progress with housing services inflation. You're going to want to see inflation behaving in a way that builds confidence that we are really making progress. That's what it's going to be. And I mean, is that better than our expectations? We expect to see that. It's just a question of when.
Scott.
Hi, Chair Powell, Scott Horsley from NPR. In your 5-year review, you said the 2% inflation target won't be on the table. Can you talk a little bit about why? Is that because you think that's the right target, or is it because you don't want to move the goalpost mid-game, or what's behind that?
I think that goal has served us well over a long period of time. It's also the sort of global standard. I think that if a central bank wanted to look at changing that, you wouldn't do it at a time when you're not meeting it anyway. I would not look at changing it anyway, but I certainly wouldn't look at it at a time when you're not meeting it. I mean, there's just no interest at all in changing it. If I'm being at all unclear, we're not going to change the inflation goal anytime soon.
And 5 years ago, if I can paraphrase what y'all decided, it was you're going to not raise interest rates preemptively to head off inflation until you see sort of the whites of the eyes of inflation, because the solid labor market was so beneficial. Have the last few years changed your thinking about that?
So what we really said was that we wouldn't look at a strong labor market and raise rates unless we saw some evidence of inflation. So the thought was that we'd seen really low levels of of unemployment with no sign of inflation. So why would you preemptively want to put people out of work in the absence of any kind of any evidence that suggested that this was not a sustainable level? It was a way of acknowledging how much humility we have about the starred variables, especially U-star, the natural rate of unemployment. So that was an insight. We'll discuss that again. That'll be one of the many things that we discuss. But I don't think that insight is wrong. We didn't, we said what we said was that at times when inflation persistently undershot 2%, we would likely allow inflation to run moderately above 2% for some time. That's what we said. That turned out not to be relevant to what actually happened. There was nothing moderate about the overshoot. It was an exogenous event. It was the pandemic, and it happened. And our framework permitted us to act quite vigorously, and we did once we decided that that's what we should do. The framework had really nothing to do with the decision we looked at the inflation as transitory, and right up to the point where the data turned against that. And when the data turned against that in late 21, we changed our view and we raised rates a lot. And here we are at 4.1% unemployment and inflation way down. But the framework was more irrelevant than anything else. That part of it was irrelevant. The rest of the framework worked just fine as we used it, as it supported what we did to bring inflation down.
Let's go to Mark for the last question.
Hello, Chairman Powell. Mark Hamrick with Bankrate. As you know, in the annual report from the Financial Stability Oversight Council, among the risks outlined is cryptocurrency. Could you talk about those risks now? And regarding individuals and households, perhaps distinct from the concern about the financial system, do you worry that speculation in this unregulated asset class could hurt their financial well-being, or do you think it has a place in a household's portfolio?
So our role with Bitcoin really is to look at, with crypto, really is to look at the banks, and we think it's, banks are perfectly able to serve crypto customers as long as they understand and can manage the risks, and it's safe and soundness. A good number of our banks that we regulate and supervise do that. The threshold has been a little higher for banks engaging in crypto activities, and that's because they're so new, and we don't want to make the mistake. If you're making a choice to conduct that activity inside a bank, which is inside the federal safety net with deposit insurance, then you want to be pretty sure that it's a safe and sound activity. So, we're not against innovation, and we certainly don't want to take actions that would cause banks to terminate customers who are perfectly legal just because of excess risk aversion, maybe related to regulation and supervision. So.
And with respect to households and their inclusion in that asset class?
That's kind of it's not really our bailiwick. You want people to be knowledgeable about the financial engagements that they have, and that's why we have the securities laws that we have. It's why if you read a mutual fund prospectus or individual stock prospectus, you want households to have the chance to understand the risk that they're taking. And I do think it would be helpful if there were a greater regulatory apparatus around crypto, and I think that's something Congress was working on quite a lot. We've actually spent a lot of time, with members of Congress, working together with them on various things, and I think that would be a very constructive thing for Congress to do. Thank you.
Thank you and goodbye. Goodbye, Powell. He's gone, guys. Now we can talk trash. Hey, Michelle. Hello, hello. Nothing new, right? Straight trash. Nothing new, right? There's nothing that he mentioned that was like, oh, that's a new thing. The only thing that might have been new was how nice he was about cryptocurrency. That was it, right? So yeah, I guess we wait for the next Fed meeting and then we listen to more rubbish. Yap, and then nothing happens. You can tell by the S&P reaction. There's nothing amazing, there's nothing bad, right? It was all priced in already, so that's a good thing at the very least, though. Like, at least we're not in the abyss. I don't know why my camera is off, but we're not in the abyss, right? So now at least we have big boy earnings coming to maybe push the markets back up. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We shall see. So again, Meta, Microsoft, and Tesla report after the market closes. So we close in 40 minutes? 40 minutes. The stock that's been cooking all day today, though, is SL and SLXN. Right? So that thing looks good. 150% at the highs there, 150 resistance on this one. So really good price action. Good retest, actually. Double bottom and then boom skis. So your next resistance for this one is 350. Alrighty. Again, the S&P is pushing back up, so it would be nice now that we have the Fed out of the way, and then we have good companies actually coming with earnings. It's time to cook. Time to cook. Time for the markets to pump, pump, pump. Anybody playing with anything for earnings, guys, other than Luna, Microsoft, Tesla, Meta? Any calls, any puts? Anybody? Nobody? Let me know. I mean, Dan has calls, so that's going to be affected by these earnings. You know, the high of the day for the S&P today is 604.13, so almost $1 away from that level, which isn't too far away, right? Ayo Raven, Palantir, okay, not too far away. Let's go. Yeah, Raven, we came on for the Fed, and Powell just finished speaking, so now we're basically just waiting for earnings and S&P reaction into the close. Let's go. The daily goal, mission accomplished, target hit. Tesla, yeah. Tesla. I hope Tesla has something good to say this time, because they never seem to. Let me not start trash talking Tesla. Michelle's gonna come for me. SGN has a lot of resistance at $5, so if that thing can break above $5 and stay above it, maybe there's some more upside there. The other name that looks okay is XFOR. Yeah, this one doesn't look horrible, does it? So nice rally and then drop, and then it's retesting the highs of the day again. So up 42%, right? There you go, 70 cents, right? So very nice dipski and curlies for XFOR. Again, there's going to be a double top there though, so just keep that in mind. But it's fighting. 69 cents. Virus's favorite number with Pablo. So yeah, 69 to 70 cents resistance on this one. Looks like it wants to break out though. Anybody playing with this one? Been balling since $1.50 trick. Oof, monies. Well done. Congrats. Congratulations. Yeah, so XFOR look good going into the end of the day, and so does SLXN. The names are so similar, so it's hard to say sometimes. Anyways, the S&P is back to the top. Ready? So now we're officially $1 away from the highs of the day. Just break it and go, right? Kim, you are? Okay. You're in at 40 cents. Ooh, I like it. Yeah, I saw this one getting spammed in Discord today when Powell was speaking. So very nice. It came out of nowhere though, so I wonder if there was a catalyst. I didn't see anything. I didn't look very hard either though. So it popped and then dipped and then crawled back above, which is beautiful, right? Beautiful. Will, right? Any of the gold members, you can see that, right? So again, that initial pop, meh, right? The second one though, monies. So there goes that 70 cents. 70 cents, looking very good. So potential double tops there. Come on, Spy. Let's go. Go. Dan, then we can go skiing, you know? Make sure you bring like warm stuff. Otherwise, you're gonna freeze to death. But yeah, no, the S&P does look good. Looks good. Again, don't forget to hit the like, guys, if you haven't already, please, and thank you. Hit that subscribe if you're new to the channel. And if you're not a member yet, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Click the link at the bottom of the chat. Click the link at the bottom of the chat there from Nightbots and come join us in Discord. Alrighty? Oh, Christy. 72 pennies, guys. Yeah, no, congratulations if you're in this one because it looks really good. Looks really good. So that was a good curl. Rumor of being acquired. That's what it is, Bill. Okay. I see. So potential acquisition target. Oh, here we go, SPY. Here we go. Give us new highs of the day. Yeah, Bitcoin has been cooking. It's almost like, Powell said something nice about Bitcoin and it's like, oh, wow, really? You like me? You like me? Oh, yeah, Bitcoin is cooking. 104, 105. So beautiful. Right? So all these dips into like the 100K level and below, beautiful. So that looks good. Wait, it was your birthday the other day, Michelle. It's officially your birthday today. From completely what's that gift? What's that little person emoji? Help me out. Did you buy the dipskis? Me? No. I'm tired of buying dips, Tony. I'm tired. I'm sick and tired of buying dips. I'm sick and tired of buying dipskis. It's time we hit all-time highs. You know? Why are you? SGN Jason, it needs to clear $5. Is it done? I'm not quite sure. I'm gonna need to take a look. Yeah, this one's looking really good. So 57% on XFOR. Shish. Not a single red candle since we curled back above the 9, huh? Right? Life above the 9 is what? Beautiful. Beautiful. There's a new one, by the way, from the same dude that said, "Why are you gay?" There's a new one. I'll have to post it in Discord. Lala, yours is tomorrow. Oh, let's go! Happy birthday, Michelle. Happy early birthday, Raven. Let's go. Let's go. The markets better cook tomorrow, Raven, on your birthday. Michelle, get the markets to green today on your birthday, please and thank you. Happy birthday to you. Until it explodes, and then he's like, "Why didn't I buy more on dips?" I know it's always like that, though, Josh. Always. Always. Come on, Spy. Keep going. YouTube BTC. Keep going. Break above 105. And for SLXN, as long as it stays above 320, it's okay. Alrighty, for anybody that's still playing with that. Microsoft, again, we don't really care for now. Tesla looks nice, 391. So and then Meta is just a monster, honestly. Like just an absolute monster. Meta is $1 away from all-time highs. On a day that the markets are red, Meta has been green the whole time, right? That's because nobody is expecting Meta to miss earnings. These dudes make too much money. Too much monies. Right? All they need to do is turn on some ads on Facebook and they're like, boom skis, we just made an extra $1 billion. Oh, ads on Instagram, boom skis. Oh, WhatsApp, boom skis. Nobody's expecting Meta to miss earnings. So that doesn't mean the stock doesn't sell off after earnings, though. Guardian, yup. He's like, damn, my wife could have those, So we need more monies. 100% profits. Let's go, Raven. Beautiful. Monies. Anyways, yeah, I'm kind of ready for the markets to close, so we can move on to earnings. We can move on to the earnings. Did anybody play anything with the Fed and make monies? Anybody? Futures, options, 0 DTEs, guys? Anybody? No, fine. Meta will fly. Yeah, they have the monies probably. They have the monies. So I wonder what they would do with it though. They wanted to buy TikTok, not TikTok, Snapchat back in the day, Michelle. So this would be a way better version of Snapchat, way better version of Instagram Reels as well. So they might as well. making it look like the care about the people virus. Always. Do. Every day, Tony. Every day. No. Interesting. There goes Bitcoin again. Highs of the day, guys. Josh probably bought all the dip skis on Bitcoin. All the dip skis. Beautiful. I think at some point, people are gonna get tired of selling the Bitcoin. When like you, especially like in the bull cycle, Bitcoin is right in your face. Like every time you sell it, it's like, oh yeah, you think so? Right back to new highs, and then dip skis, and you panic, and then right back to new highs. Eventually, people are gonna be like, you know what? Every time I sell this rubbish, it goes right back to new highs. How about I just don't panic anymore? Anyways, T. What does the daily look like on this one here? What is this? An IPO? Oh, interesting. An IPO. DXST. Michelle, this is a stock for you. It's coming off the bottom. Coming off the bottoms there. Something to keep an eye on, especially if it stays above this 165. The fact that it went from like red, creating new lows, to green for the day is interesting. Yeah, I think that's what people are looking at, Tony. They're looking at this as a sympathy play to that. No. Yeah. Jericho, is it bedtime? It's 5:30 a.m. in the morning. My goodness. Go to bed, please. Go to bed. Get some rest, and we will see you when you wake up. See you tomorrow. Well, I mean, you're technically already in tomorrow, so. What are the possible outcomes of BTC after the market closes? Kim, why after the market closes? It's pumping right now, so I just want to see if you have a position that depends on it, doing something, right? Yeah, Spy's playing games with right below that 604 Tesh. So I don't know if it's actually going to go green for the day, but. Virus, did you see that? Does that look like an inverse head and shoulder? Does that look like an inverse head and shoulder to you? I don't know. It doesn't to me. It doesn't, unless it's like this dislocated shoulder, But anyways, unless they're looking at shoulders like way higher there, but that looks like a ghost more than anything else. Anyways, we're coming for Jake. We're coming for Jake. First of all, that's not even a real chart. So, anyways, you're up 255%, Kim. So I thought Powell will crash it after. No. Yeah, Bitcoin already had a sell-off, and the market knew there was there was going to be a pause. So there's no need expecting Powell to crash the markets when we've priced in the negative news. So yeah, Kim, let us know if you need but you should be okay. Like you're up 255%. Like you should be fine. Should be a-okay. It looks like DXF. This one's bouncing. Who bought this thing? This is Michelle, isn't it? I knew it. As soon as we said Michelle and Raven. Raven is the bottom feed. Criminal. Let's see. You're welcome, Kim. What's your next resistance here? It looks like it's stalling at 76 cents. Let me pull up the daily really quickly, but it looks like 76 cents for now. Yeah. So that level on the 1 minute, and then you can see the double top at like 87 cents. So right below 90 cents, Miss Lola. Right, that's the same level that it failed at, right there. This was December 12th, and then this is December 27th. So both times it came up to this price, it ended up getting slapped. But yeah, so today 76, and then right below 90 cents. V-shaped recovery from the lows, if anything. Yeah. Damn, SPY really stalled there. I like this feature. I don't know what it is, but you can pull out like your favorite tool, I think. Like the brush. I use the brush all the time because I need to do art, you know? All the time. So now TradingView has like an option where like it just sits, you know, wherever your mouse is, kind of. I think that's cool. I think that's cool. Anyways, Tesla still looking okay. Yeah. So there goes that retest of 76 cents again for X, and then it's right below 90 cents. Any on? Yeah, it looks like it's right. That's what Laura, right? Is it gonna go green though? Nope. So the main level for you though, Miss Lola, is right below the other one. So looking good holding the 9 EMA though. That's perfect. What kind of art do you do? Just just paintings. Just paintings, just paintings on the chart, right? There you go. Paintings on the charts. Damn, SPY's losing all the gains, guys. Dan, did you sell your stuff or you're just keeping it for tomorrow? Yeah, DXST is something to keep an eye on, especially if it breaks above 190 in after hours. Alrighty, so and then Raven can FOMO into that thing. But yeah, if that thing can break above this little resistance here above 190 in after hours, it might be something to yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. So do you set the colored resistance and support levels, or is it an indicator type? Do you set the colored resistance and support levels? Which one are you referring to? Like if you see white lines on my chart, those are set there manually. If you see like the red and green, those are set there by the indicator. Newland. The red and green ones? Oh yeah, those come with the algo. You can play with them. I think mine are a little bit different. But yeah, you those come with the algo, Newland. They give you those support and resistance lines. So basically supply and demand zones, which is really, really, really helpful. Yeah, the algo. Yeah, anything you need to know about the algo is in the it's in the in Discord. So alrighty, if you watched the second last educational class we did was on the algo. So if you go to the Discord, if you go to the group class request channel, or you go to the education channel, there's a video in there that shows you, that says how the algo works. And I think we did that on November 8th. Yeah, it tells you. Yeah, November 8th Discord class, how the algo works. So yeah, you're welcome. And it's going to tell you where to go to get it and all that other stuff. Did anybody get into DXSST? Education super helpful so far. Good, Newland. Good. Yeah, there's so much stuff in there. I think we need to because there's 3 different channels with educational stuff in there. I think I need to go through and, like reorganize it and stuff. I need to make sure that everything is in the same place. So you can just go through the educational stuff in one channel instead of like looking for a whole bunch of stuff. So maybe one of these weekends, one of these days that the market is closed. One of these days. Uh, yeah, so DXST needs to break above $1.90 and then go from there. Okay, perfect. Oh, there it goes, guys. There it goes. There it goes. Who's pumping this thing? There it goes. So I still think that candle needs to close above though, but that candle still needs to close above, but looking good. Guess what? There it goes. 195, guys. 197. There it goes. Did Michelle get in? Did Raven get in? There it goes. This is Hutrid's money, isn't it? Unbelievable. You criminals in the chat. You criminals. You criminals. Can I break $2 though? $2. Raven, you did? Okay. Hey, yo, Mexican stallion. Hello, hello. Yeah, so $2 would be your next resistance there. There's a pretty big like ask at $1.98. Pretty big ask at $1.98. So I'm sure there's some dude sitting there selling. LRHC. Virus, straight to jail. Straight to jail. Okay, I'm ready for the market to close. There goes $1.99, guys. $2. Boom skis. Give us more monies, please. Give us more monies. More monies. The spread is a bit ridiculous though. Yeah, so but I mean, again, we started talking about this thing at 4%. Now it's at 18% for the day, right? So, and there it goes, 20% for the day. Adding into Lorenda, because it's been beaten down. INTC, I like it. Yeah, Lorenda, that would post that in the long term channel, Lorenda. Otherwise, it's gonna get lost. There goes 21%. 21%, and then back down. Nice little pop though. What do you think about Meta 2X? Like, what are you doing? Are you thinking of taking a leveraged position, like a leveraged long position on Meta? Is that what you're doing, or what? Damn, look at the size of that candle, guys. All the way up to 210, all the way back down to 185. So almost like a retest of the actual breakout, right? Which, again, I guess it's expected, but that was quick. Very, very quick. Very, very quick. Long. So you're not in a position right now. Just know that again. Nobody's expecting like Meta to miss earnings, so they're gonna beat earnings probably. As much as we say that, like any long positions you take into earnings are still gonna be gambles, right? So you're taking a bit of a risk. So make sure if you do that, you're not using like a crazy amount of money. Alrighty. Make sure you're not using like a crazy amount of money. With the crypto person, la, 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 la. I like it, Lorenda. Lorenda posted a little message. She's so Lorenda says she's adding some INTC into a long-term portfolio. AMD, she's been accumulating close to 117. 109 and 19 even better if it gets to those levels. AMDL for AMD leverage long, right? 2x. And then I hope to get back in the market charts in Discord soon. Limited time crypto is your first focus now. So beautiful. So back into the 190s. Virus, you know what's NVIDIA didn't keep growing. I'm surprised. I'm surprised NVIDIA dipped as much as it did. That's yeah. You're welcome, Long. You're welcome. Yeah, spies are racing some of those. So Meta and Microsoft better save SPY tonight. Otherwise, we're gonna see blood tomorrow. Blood tomorrow. Before playing into the close, yeah, the markets close in 10 minutes. T. Especially if you've hit your daily goal, there's no need to. DXF is at the highs of the day again. My goodness, why does that stock keep moving back and forth like DXF? Bitcoin, yeah. Back to 21. Okay. Here you go. Hey yo, Crystal, lunch check, avocado. I like it. I like it. You missed Powell and some nice comments about Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin had a bit of a run. You missed it, Crystal. How are you? So yeah, DXF is at $22. I'm surprised they haven't halted it yet, but I guess it's only 6%. Shares or options with time, yeah, especially shares because you can add more and do whatever you want to do, right? Come on, Spy, give us a run into the close. Give us something here. Yeah, let me pull that one up to you. There goes DXF, $22 now, $23. Yup. So and it's finally halted up now. So and then DGNX. DGNX, yep. 174% on this one. Craziness. I think that's what they're looking for, Roy, is people are looking at DXST as a potential sympathy play to DGNX. So, yep, that thing would need to break above $2 again and actually close above it, though, if it wants to follow. Damn, SPY's getting slapped here. Watch it close below 600. I don't think it will. But that's some silliness, you know. That's what virus would call some BS. Like, where are you going? Just go back up. Monies, Crystal, monies. Mm. Mm, 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 mm. Interesting. Yeah, it's trying to. It basically came back for the retest of that last break, and it's Miss Lola. Yeah, so the usual, right? Retest. So that 70 cents, that 69.70 cents we kept talking about. Looks like it's become a bit of a bouncy level. DGNX is hitting brand new highs again, so $44. I bet you one of these weird names is gonna cook after hours. One of these weird stocks. But I'm ready for the market to close though. There goes $46. Damn. Dang, 45. And they're not even halting the damn thing. Wow. Okay, there we go. ST? One of these weird stocks, you know. There goes DXST pushing for $2 again. So this one to me is the direct sympathy play for now, right? Sender? Yup. I mean, it is what it is, isn't it? How come nobody pays me to pump stocks, guys? How come? Because they know I'm just going to take the money and run and go buy cookies. Unbelievable. An avocado. Come on. Come on. Unbelievable. Where are these paid pumpers from? Anyways, they know like as soon as they give me the monies, we're just going to end up trashing the stock all day long. Trash it all day long. But yeah, no, DGNX looks nice, and DXST is trying to follow along. The S&P with a nice little pop off that demand zone, so that's good. So we're gonna end the day above 600, which I think is a good thing. The longer we stay above 600, the better. Right, Raven? Like, isn't that crazy? Some of these guys get ridiculous monies. Give me some of the monies. No, I think it's because we mostly stream, you know. Stream. There goes $48. My goodness. $49. And then DX. There it goes, guys. There it goes. There it goes. There it goes. There it goes. There it goes, guys. So again, we talked about this one around $1.75, right? $1.80 actually. So from $1.80 to from $1.80 to $2.34, right? So is cooking. Too bad Raven ran out of monies, pumping random names and just be sure to say no financial advice and get paid with views. Yeah. Yes. So this is again, DXST was a direct sympathy to the other one that's cooking, right? So DGNX is halted at $49, by the way. So halted, and it will not on halts. They're both gonna dump at some point. So these are not like diamond hand positions, right? These are not diamond hand positions. Actually, DXST is a China name. China. So we close in 3 minutes, guys, and then let the chaos begin. Let the chaos begin. There we go. Yep. Make your monies and move on, right? No diamond hands on these garbage stocks. They're just sympathy plays, momentum plays. Virus, yeah. I agree. Up or down on Tesla? Tesla is, I feel like Tesla is the... Okay, there we go. There we go. Close the markets, guys. Close the markets. NVIDIA is coming. Buys coming in. Yeah, the entire market with a bit of a bounce. Meta is actually selling. Microsoft is still selling off into the close. Tesla just sitting there, and then Meta is coming back. So, yup. Close the markets. Yup. Yeah, I'm really interested to see what happens with DXST after the market closes here. Interested to see what happens there. You're holding Virus? Okay. Yeah, and then they're just going to depend on what happens with earnings tonight. Pretty good price. Dang, I just saw Virus's new picture. And here we go, guys. We are closed. DGNX should be getting on halted here now. Right, so on halted and then tapped $50 and came back down. DGNX just sitting there for now. So sitting at $2.20. Microsoft, not sure which of these reports first. So we're just going to have to keep a close eye on all of them. So Microsoft earnings, Tesla earnings. Tesla is usually the last one to report, right? And then Meta. So we have 3 names to pay attention to now. 3 names. So the S&P silliness into the close, I guess. Silliness into the close. Give us the earnings, please. Oh, Microsoft is getting slapped, guys. See, I don't see their earnings report yet, so I don't know if this is like, proper slapping, or this is just if this is just, like the unnecessary dipping before they report. Let me take a look. Limiting the power of overspending. Anyways, yeah, I don't see anything yet for Microsoft. Don't see anything yet. Yeah, Microsoft is getting slapped. It almost feels like the earnings are out already. Tesla, nothing happening. Meta, nothing happening. Spies dipping, obviously, because of Microsoft, right? And then the other stocks we're paying attention to are just kind of sitting there. Okay, back to minus 5% now. Yup. Oh lordy, this is why earnings are such a gamble. And yeah, it looks like Microsoft missed earnings. Did they actually miss earnings? 1 second. When all your news outlets fail, you run to Twitter, guys. So they beat earnings, which again is what we expected, but you can never predict that direction though. So Microsoft beat revenue. So their revenue came in at $69 billion. The estimate was just below 69, right? And then they beat EPS as well. So again, they beat earnings. Yeah. Yeah, so they beat earnings, but again, that doesn't really matter always, does it? It doesn't matter, does it? Right? Doesn't matter. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Dan. It does not matter whether you beat earnings or not. Tesla is getting slapped. Oh Lord, tomorrow might be bloody. I don't think Tesla is out yet though. What's Meta doing? Meta is not doing anything yet, so it looks like they haven't reported. Oh, Tesla. Oh. Let's see. Tesla. No, Tesla hasn't reported yet. Let me know if you see it, Dan. Tesla is looking for the blood of Jesus at this point. Take this money to AMD. Don't worry, AMD is going to be right there with them in the abyss tomorrow, you know? Both reported at 405. Okay. Okay. I see the Microsoft earnings. I don't see Tesla yet. Oh, there we go. Tesla's out. So Tesla misses earnings. They missed EPS, but then they beat revenue. So estimate revenue of $2.57 billion. No, they missed both. But again, that's Tesla. That's Tesla, guys. Tesla missed earnings. Oh, Tesla. Oh, Tesla. Oh, Tesla. Meta's dumping now too. Oh, Meta. Lord have mercy. I don't see Meta yet, but yeah. So Tesla missed earnings. Microsoft beat earnings, but again, it doesn't matter, right? So yeah, Microsoft beat, Tesla missed. Now we wait for Meta to save us. I would think like Meta is the strongest one out of the bunch, you know. Microsoft is always weird, and Tesla always sucks. Whether they're pumping or they're just crashing. Meta is usually the savior. So let's see. Meta is gonna end up dumping too. Come on, Meta. Meta. Anthony, probably. There goes Meta coming back to life. Meta's down $6. There goes Meta coming. Meta's like, you know what? I'm gonna save you. I'll save you guys. Save you. What's happening here with these other names? They're all just kind of chilling there. Yeah. So SPY sitting at 600, right? So it looks like unless Meta pumps for earnings, it looks like we're gonna have a red day tomorrow, at least to start. Maybe Meta is gonna report like at 4:30. Okay. Is it dead? Yeah, maybe the time to take those monies were, at the close, right? Maybe. But for now, again, it looks something to keep an eye on still, though deep. Still above the price that we mentioned it at, right? So that 179, sitting on 195 there, so that thing could easily bounce. Virus. Yep. Okay. Let's do that. Come on, Meta. Just report your damn earnings already. We have things to do. We have things to do. Here we go. I think Meta might be at 4:15 or something, right, Dan? I don't really see the time for Meta. For 4 or 5. There goes DXST back above $2 D. So yeah, it's clearly just following the other one. Like both of these stocks, the charts look the same, right? So DGNX, if that thing cooks, then the other one follows. SPY is still above 600, yeah. While we wait for Meta, Tesla's coming back a little bit. Tesla is fighting. IBM is cooking. Yeah, so the one that we weren't paying a whole bunch of attention to, IBM. That's the one that's gonna cook. Yup. IBM is like, don't worry, guys, I got you. Except IBM has no control over the markets, though. So that's why we were looking at. And then cook some food, Virus. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna go do a quick workout. Maybe later tonight. And then make some food. Meta. Yeah, Tesla's only down like 1.5% now, so not really a big deal. right? Like these earnings are so like, uneventful that like nobody really, nobody really cares, Yeah, Meta is going to be like the final nail in the coffin if it drops. Exactly, virus. People are just buying the dips now. Just buying the deep skis. ah, 20 minutes and gets his heart rate up. Yeah. As long as I, elevate the heart rate to yep, that's it. That's all I need, Mm. Yeah, no, IBM is doing well. IBM. Unbelievable. No. Come on, Meta. What the hell? Come on, Meta. Watch, they're gonna keep these stupid earnings all the way to like 4:30 Eastern time. So then we have to wait another 15 minutes, huh? Yeah, Meta's down $2 now. Like, Meta's completely fine. Meta's about to go green for the day. Yeah. Yeah, no earnings yet, but Meta is trying to recover. Yeah, exactly, Dan. Exactly. Yeah. Yep, exactly. Especially with like Meta going green, if they beat earnings and the stock cooks, and then I think the other ones would kind of come back. But yeah, this is why we kind of gave up on earnings, right? Like Microsoft is gonna beat earnings. They're way too big to not beat earnings, right? The question that we always ask is like, okay, and then what? Like, what does it do? Like, it doesn't mean anything. You beat earnings and you still go down, right? Let's see, what's Tesla doing? Meh. Meta is up $3 now, right? No earnings yet, but yeah, I think that's a Raven. I think it's nice. YOLOs. Yeah. YOLO, YOLO, YOLO. YOLOs, YOLOs. Yeah, I think they're gonna make us wait for another 14 minutes before they drop those earnings. Green Day tomorrow. You think so? I think we have a decent Green Day tomorrow. Out of the way, he wasn't really hawkish in guidance. Yeah, exactly. I hope so too, Dan. I think it's always nice. I think it's a really big win, though. The fact that we have Powell out of the way and the S&P is still sitting above 600, so we're not crashing, right? I think that's a really, really big win. I think that's the obviously we wanted it to pump, but I think this is the second best, scenario. The Fed is out of the way and the market did not crash. I think that's big. And also now we have Microsoft and the other big earnings, and we're still above 600. So I think we are ready. And if we break above 604 tomorrow, yeah, forget about it. We're just gonna cook. You're just happy that they're gone. Exactly. Seriously, pretty useless, honestly. I don't get the point of the Fed always like speaking, but because all they do is cause chaos, unnecessary chaos. Unnecessary chaos. I think what should happen is they should take Powell and ask him to speak in front of like the president, and then the president needs to be holding a stick and then whip him every time he says something. He's anyways. Anyways, come on, Meta's back to red. 10 minutes. They should remove the Fed, in my opinion. Seriously. I don't get the whole point, but Siri, why are you listening to me again?
I respect your privacy and only listen when you're talking to me. You can learn about Apple's approach to privacy at apple.com.
Okay. The problem was I didn't even call for you. I didn't even say you could speak, and then you just started listening to me. I looked at the other screen and Siri was up. She's like, "Oh, you want to get rid of the Fed, huh? Okay. Don't worry. What's your address again? Don't worry, I have it." Unbelievable, Siri. Unbelievable. On Saturday at like 10 p.m. at night, no one would care. Yep. With a stick, virus. Not like, one of those with a stick. Okay. Microsoft is still trying to recover. Tesla is trying to recover. Meta was still just waiting for earnings. Too much information goes out to the tech world. Raven, yeah. I agree. Or Alexa. Yep. Virus? Probably. There we go. We'll save you, virus. Yeah. We will save you. Come on, Meta. Just give us the damn earnings already. Let me refresh again and see if anything's out. Nope, nothing yet, guys. Nothing yet. So, Meta's expected EPS is $2. Okay, what? That doesn't make any sense. Is Meta out? Hmm. I see some weird stuff on social media, but do, 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 do. Ah. First person to give up is Dan. Why? Because Dan's been roasting me for 4 years now. First person on the list. No, Varys. Some weird earnings reports. Unbelievable. Do, 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 do. Come on, Meta. You only have 7 minutes left. You have 7 minutes, Meta. Do, 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 do. I want an ice cream sandwich, guys. I don't know why I thought about that, but I want an ice cream sandwich. And then I'll work out after, you know. I'll work out in an hour or two. Rubbish. Dan, Christian, Varys. Yep. To check if you're safe. Anyways, Tesla is almost back to break even, guys. So yeah, these earnings are so like they're not amazing, they're not horrible either, right? So they're not amazing, but they're not bad. So then we just crash and we come all the way back. So Tesla is coming all the way back up. Microsoft is coming all the way back up too. It's only down 1% now. So it's not like crazy stuff happening. Meta is the only thing that could screw everybody now. Can you imagine Meta misses? Straight to the abyss. SPGC. Hmm. IBM. IB Crush Roy? Probably. That's exactly what they're doing. This is why we gave up on playing, you know, like earnings on large caps. We just gave up on them because they end up destroying your options anyways. SPY's back about 602, right? Like they just play with you too much. And then you're like, oh, it's crashing. I'm about to get rich. Tesla's pumping now, by the way. Tesla's up 2% now. So Tesla is pumping now. Maybe they're gonna pump the markets tomorrow. Like after the stream virus. Yeah. Unless I watch it on my phone, then yeah. Unless I watch it on my phone. If I watch it on stream, it's gonna come through like the it's gonna pick it up. So I'd have to like watch it after the stream. Tesla puts are gone. Can you imagine? Like, oh yay, I'm holding Tesla puts. I'm gonna be so rich tomorrow. Nope. Nope. Look at Tesla go. Testing 400. Ayo, Robs. Use my phone. Okay, send it. I'll use my phone. So yeah, Tesla's coming back to life. SPY is also coming back to life a little bit, so that's good. Again, if we can find a way to push back above 604, and then it's time for SPY to cook tomorrow. Cook tomorrow, please. So now we're waiting. We're just waiting for. Damn, Tesla's off 4%. Tesla's going, guys. Tesla's like my turn, my turn, my turn. Now it's all left to Meta. Meta earnings. Come on, Meta. 3 minutes, guys. 3 minutes. Meta. Meta, you better save us. Save us. Microsoft is just sitting there. But at least it's not down like $12 anymore. It's only down $5 now. So everything came back to life. Everything came back to life. Rob, how's your day? You missed the Fed and all the other chaos. All the other chaos. Laura, I'm glad you didn't get puts either. Otherwise, NTAT. New highs there for Tesla. The high of the day for Tesla was 398.59. So clearly pushing above that. Meta is trying to come back to life too. Okay, Virus, let me go to Discord. Yeah. Oh yeah. Rob's traveling. Traveling. Virus, you're a criminal. You know that, right? In the hotel? Okay. It was the who? Mm-hmm. Come on, Meta. Tesla still going, guys? We have 10 seconds. Are you ready? Ready? 3, 2, wait, what? Where are the damn earnings? Did Meta just forget to report earnings, guys? They're like, you know what, guys? Not today. What the hell? What's going on? What the hell's going on? I don't see it. What's going on? Did the Meta just say, you know what? Today we don't report earnings. Like, what are you doing? Tesla could really pump. Yeah. Yep. Take SPY with you, please. Take SPY with you. Yeah. I guess we wait. Let's wait till like 4:45, guys, and then we call it a day, Whatever happens, we're gonna be in Discord anyways. Stock Tweets has to be one of the funniest places, Dan. One of the funniest places. People panic so much. Unbelievable. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it on Tesla for now, and then we wait. Reporting Trump signed an agreement with Meta for them to pay him $25 million settlement they owed him over a lawsuit for. Oh, wow. I mean, I'm sure they gladly pay it, Also, it's not a lot of money to them. That's like the every minute revenue. Yeah, I really like this brush, how you can move the brush all over the place, Rob. So I don't have to like zoom out and zoom back in. Tesla. And then he buys $26 million in Tesla shares. Yup. Just like extra monies, Whatever happens, happens. He didn't have the monies anyways. Yeah, let's wait. Let's wait for another 13 minutes and then give up on Meta. Some amazing. Yeah, I like that update. I think what they need to do is make it possible to drag all of them out. I think they just maybe use you get to drag out the one that you. Oh, maybe you can highlight stuff. Oh, that's really cool, actually. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You can do it. You can do all of it, actually. So I'm just gonna do some of my favorite boxes. You can't do this one, actually. This one's a bit different. I like it a lot. So the most common tools, you can star them. Yeah, I like it a lot. So when I'm zoomed into a chart, I'm zoomed in. Now I can basically do all I want to do without zooming out, right? So I can zoom in. Instead of zooming out and looking to the left to use that toolbar, I can just star my favorites and then I can use all of them right there. I'm like, oh, good. Oh, now I'm back. Oh, now I need to draw like a line, right? Oh, now I need a flat line. That goes on forever. How come this one isn't? Oh, it's refreshing. There you go. It was refreshing. There we go. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. That's cool. Good job. Good job, TradingView. Yeah. So if you want to join us in Discord, Bruno, you have to become a member first. So click the link at the bottom of the chat there from Nightbot. Sign up for the levels that Virus explained everything. Then sign up for the levels that say Legend or Goats, not the sold out levels, and then you get the link to join us. Meta is about 30 minutes late on their earnings. Yeah, they're more than 30 minutes late on their earnings. Well, actually, 30 minutes now. How are they late though? Like, are they trying to make like a last minute deal or something? Yeah, Bruno. Yeah, we're still on stream. So when you sign up, and then I'll send you a link. Alrighty. So Legend or Goats, come join us. I bet you that last update they did actually messed up the charts a bit. Rob, I can see the whole setting thing now though, like the little green blue circle for updates, like indicator updates. I can see it now. It's on the left hand side. What I don't like though is having to like zoom in and then zoom out of charts though. I think they need to fix that. Yeah, exactly, Rob. Like, how does a company like that report earnings 30 minutes late, though? I guess they're too big to fail, They're like, whatever, you guys can wait. Oh, he's starving, I'm thinking of the sourdough bread I could be having right now with an avocado or like some yogurt, No. Instead, we're waiting for stupid Mark Zuckerberg. Anyways, waiting for Meta earnings. Kidding. Come on, Meta. Because they do what they want. Yeah. Seriously, Christy. Seriously. And then at the end of this, if this thing ends up crashing, oh my goodness. If it ends up crashing, Twitter is going to be pissed along with stock tweets. I know, Dan. I know. I'm going to be nicer. My New Year's resolution is to be more positive, you know? Yeah, so I'll be more positive to these stocks. Ah, unbelievable. Husa. This is like when Virus is about to say something about, anyways, about the people he's not supposed to be talking about. And go through the comments. Yeah, let's do it. Trump accuses Fed. Oh. Trump accuses the Fed Powell of creating inflation on heels of rate decision. If Trump was allowed to slap somebody or fire somebody, damn, Powell would be in a different country right now. They would send Powell to fight the front lines in Israel, send him to the military. Sheesh. Trump doesn't like that dude. Unbelievable. I mean, well, he's not wrong, right? We know the Fed moves like snails, Stock tweets. Really? You guys want me to spell it all out? Unbelievable. Hopefully they don't make me sign in, please. Pretty please. Yay. Let's look at the meta board, guys. Sky, you don't like Trump? I don't want to sign in. Is there a way to not sign in? And just move on? There should be, right? Is there? I have a job for you. I don't want to sign in. I use stock tweets on my Safari browser, not Google Chrome. Quick refresh. Yeah, sign out. Virus, you're just as useless as Powell. You know that, right? Just as useless. I'm just gonna creating my own websites. Unbelievable. Okay. Doo-doo. Funny. This dude says, I guess they're checking the numbers with DeepSeek before announcing. I mean, they're not wrong. Oh, that dude has an AMD thing. So that dude's an AMD lover. That's Virus's other account. I knew it. Meta, refresh the page. Hit send now, please. There goes the last of their monies. Because Trump took the monies? Oh my goodness, are they going to make me refresh again? I start to lose control. Oh, Meta's out? Is it? Oh, Lord. Look, guys. Look. Somebody look at this. We waited all this time so Meta could miss earnings, guys. Look. Look, I can't even find the bottom of the candle. Minus 4%. Ridiculousness. But then again, Meta was pumping, into earnings. So what did we expect? What did we expect? Let's see what Meta actually reported though. EPS, so they beat EPS, they beat revenue. Surprise. Revenue of $46.4 billion. So they beat earnings, and look at that, it's pumping. Now look at this. Meta's up 1% now. Yeah, guess what? If you're holding calls or puts, NSATs. But I don't think that's a big surprise. Yeah. Yeah. So $46.4 billion estimate was for, yeah. So they beat earnings, right? Again, these companies are they're not expected to miss earnings. Microsoft beat, Meta beat earnings, right? We knew that. Doesn't change anything though, does it? Doesn't change a damn thing. They're still gonna destroy your calls and puts. For sure, for sure. The only thing I'm gonna YOLO on is AMD for sure on earnings next week. Maybe INTC tomorrow. But INTC reporting on a Thursday night is not a good sign, is it? Usually when companies report at the end of the week, it's like, what are you hiding on a Friday? This is like when Virus goes to the woods, and then he doesn't come back for like 3 hours. What's Virus doing in the woods? Anyways, so long story short, what's INTC hiding? Could be a nice YOLO. Yeah. Now I'm gonna wait for AMD though next week. Next week. Anyways, yeah, Meta is up $2 and it's back to flat, and it's up $2 and it's up $3. Yep, come on, Meta, keep going. We don't have time for this rubbish. Don't have time for this rubbish. I sit down and listen to the. Meta's down $3. That was fun, guys. Don't forget to smash a like, right? Hit that subscribe if you're new and all the other fun things. And we're gonna end up, opening flat tomorrow. Microsoft, meh, down $4, not a big deal. Tesla, green, up 3%. Meta, minus $5, not a big deal. They do, right, Raven? Yeah. So we can have fun with some volatility. That's actually the next thing they need to do. Instead of like 24-hour trading, they need to bring options after hours. At least like an hour after the market closes. So you can buy like same-day expiration puts. Who's going to pay for that though? The market makers are going to suffer. Your puts are going to be like minus 99% to up 100%. Crazy. Crazy. Exactly, Lorenda. Exactly. Anyways, guys, let me know if you have any last questions, and then we're going to go back to Discord. And Virus, bring snacks, please. Bring snacks. Don't ask Dan for snacks because he's going to send you a picture of food that you can't have. Useless. Ayo, yeah, Christy, good to see you. Good to see you. Alrighty, all. Have a wonderful evening. Much love. Enjoy the rest of the evening. We're going to be in Discord if anything else happens. Be safe, and we will catch you guys tomorrow. Alrighty? Much love, everybody. Bye, Christy. Bye, Virus. Bye, Raven. Bye, Dan. Bye, ST. Bye, A. Sky. See you later. Rob. Chat later. Bill. See you later. See you in Discord. Bruno. See you next time. Unless you become a member and then just send me an email, or your invite link is going to be in the community section on YouTube. Ready? Dan, yes, please. Actually, no. Well, maybe. Yes, please. Bye, guys. Much love all.